Shabbat Shalom. That's gonna be a squeeze, isn't it? I don't know what to do.
I'm sorry, are you talking to me?
Well, I'm kind of talking. I'm kind of only kind of in that you're walking past raises the dilemma. Well, I know you're fantastic, but it's like the rest of the world isn't. Well, is there no one ushering tonight?
There doesn't appear to be.
I do announcements so often. Am I the only board member in the room tonight?
I'm really bad at doing that off the top of my head.
I'm happy to do it, but if there's another board member, so that it's a little less the MJ show.
Yeah.
That's always amazing.
If you point someone out, I'll recruit them. Mostly, I just want to make sure Kelly Casey pinch hit and has passed out the Sidurim because there was no usher. So I just want to make sure she gets thanked. That's all.
Okay.
That's my motivation.
I'll tell you what.
But if you point me to someone
Well,
else.
Did Jay leave?
Jay Beninoff?
Yeah.
No, he's right there.
Oh, well,
he's
a board member.
Oh, I'll make him do it.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Shabbat Shalom, Deborah. Cannot wait to hear you speak. It better be good. Shabbat Shalom. This is a little tune that I'm just going to sing our way into that we will make use of later on this evening.
Did I Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
I just want to swim and float in that lullaby. Thank you so much, MJ.
We will.
There'll be time. My name is Rabbi Joey. I use he, him pronouns, and I have a big smile on my face as a point of visual access tonight. I'm joined tonight by...
I'm MJ Gilbert, also with big smile, she, her pronouns, dark hair with big purple glasses.
Welcome to everyone tonight. Welcome to those of us who find ourselves in person, folks on Zoom. I love this sound effect.
Unintentional, but welcome.
Those of us on YouTube live stream. Welcome everyone to today. Is anyone here for the very, very first time? Wow, it is a service of experience sheer tikvanix. Is anyone here for the first time in a long... Ooh, I see one hand waving in the back. Welcome. Woo! Is anyone here for the first time in a long time? Someone who's maybe been away either in person or on Zoom? Oh, welcome back. We're gonna be hearing some words of Torah from Rabbi Rappaport at the end of the evening, our beloved former rabbi. Last week, just a quick word of framing. Last week, I joined friends for the tail end of an epic bike trip from Washington, D.C. to Pittsburgh. And on our last day riding through industrial small towns in a stormy day, we encountered something magical and surprising, a labyrinth. Tucked in a hard-to-find spot between the river and the trail, we found the spiraling path outlined by stones. An old tradition with roots in medieval Christian pilgrimage, or in our case, medieval Christian pilgrims, or in our case, muddy bikers, walk this circuitous path of labyrinth in a quiet contemplation. As myself and my friends walked the labyrinth a few days ago, I realized that the only thing keeping back the weeds and maintaining the trail that we walked was mine and my fellow pilgrims' feet. We were walking into existence this path. Over these last few days, filled with news of court rulings that attack our civil and our human rights, I've been thinking about this path as a metaphor for activism and liturgy. Each week, we take up acts of resistance, we join together in prayer, and in doing these things, we match the footsteps and wheelchair grooves, the harmonies and dissonance of generations of ancestors. Our butts in these seats, our faces on these Zoom screens, our presence at protests, our hearts and hands, each of us collectively giving each other and our futures more strength to navigate the never linear and always spiraling path towards tikkun, towards repair. We start this journey, the spiral of a journey, by lighting our Shabbos candles on page 2, number 2 online. And to take on this act of bringing us into Shabbat, I'd like to welcome up our new members who came together for our new members dinner before the service. Please come on up towards the bima. You can find the words for the candle lighting on page 2. Asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen. Beloved new members, I'm going to ask you to stay up for like 3 more seconds, and also any new members that might be in hiding here. This blessing goes to you. First, I want to thank Nicolina, our membership coordinator, for doing so much work to set the table for you, our new members. Next, I want to channel some words from Rabbi Ariel, the new blessing that she gives to new members each time we gather together in this way. For all of you who joined in these last months, may Shir Tikva be a home for you for many years to come. May you experience uplift in times of joy and robust and heartfelt support in moments of challenge. May we keep counting on each other, learning from each other, deepening with each other. Welcome, dear ones. I cannot wait to get to know what Shir Tikva becomes through your presence and commitments. What a gift. Thank you all so much for being here. Okay. We move from one, just deeply spiritual, joyous high to another. We get to welcome into a community a new baby. I'm going to welcome up Ariel and Matthew. Ooh, and grandparents. You all, we get to welcome an even newer member than some of our new members. Blessed Isla, who comes to enter the covenant, Baruch haba. In each generation, we reconnect and revitalize our relationship with the sacred and with our people. We find our own unique way of being part of our culture and community. And in Jewish tradition, all smachot, all joyous occasions, happen over a cup of wine. Wine is a symbol of transformation, and reciting a blessing over wine has the power to sanctify and change. Today, we offer that power of transformation to Isla as we bring her into the covenant of the Jewish people and give her her Hebrew name. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, barei peri hagafen. I welcome Isla, Ariel, and Matt, and their whole family to offer their blessings for Isla. Let me get this off of here.
Hello, I'm Ariel, and this is Matt.
Hello.
And our 4-year-old Shoshi, Grandma Linda, and Grandpa Dan, and then this is Isla. So we chose her Hebrew name, Sarah Eden, today because Sarah for my grandma, who was Shirley Patisha, who died in 2022, and her Hebrew name was Sarah Rivka. And then Matt's grandma, Ethel, who died in 2017, Eden.
Read this now? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We offer our blessings. May the Jewish community and tradition be a source of guidance and direction for you, Isla. May it provide you with morals and values, and through it, may we find your own particular authentic relationship with God and spirituality. May the Jewish community provide you with a safe place in which to explore your world. May the blessings of the Jewish tradition imbue in your kindness respect for all creation and connection to family and history.
We bless you with unconditional love. May you always know that your family cherishes you and values you not only for your achievements, but because you are a unique and beautiful human whose life we are privileged to share.
Here, you read the first one.
We give you the gift of independence. Let our love and care for you always be healthy and positive, never stifling or possessive. May we always try to respect and appreciate your uniqueness and teach you to respect this in others.
We give you the gift of curiosity. We want to share our love of learning with Isla and help you to appreciate the complicated and magical world into which you have come. Yeah. We also know you will know injustice and bless you with the courage and wisdom to take part in restoring a broken world to wholeness.
It is said there are 3 names by which a person is called: the one they are given at birth, the one in which people call them, and the one they earn for themselves. The Hebrew name that you receive today marks the beginning of your life's journey. May this name be the one that serves you well, that connects you to your family and to your culture, and that allows you to discover the name that you will earn for yourself.
May Isla's family and community find much joy in her. And may her life bring blessings to her family, her friends, and to our people. Eloheinu, Eloheinu, Avinu, Amitenu. Our God and God of our ancestors, sustain this child for her father and her mother. Let her be called in Israel, Sarah Eden. May this little Sarah Eden bring transformation to this world as she enters into the covenant. So may she enter into a life of learning, loving relationships, and good deeds. Let her name be known in Israel as Sarah Eden. I invite Ariel and Matt to watch this future Shir Tikva singer's feet and hands in a sign of entering into covenant. As they recite a blessing of welcome and binding into relationship with the Jewish people, the washing of the hands and feet, may they bathe this little one in living relationship, connecting you to tradition, and marks this tradition for you from the womb into the world. As our Aiden's feet and hand are washed, we say a bracha together. There's a little bowl behind you. Baruch atah Adonai mekor mayim chayim hamechaye nefesh kol chai.
Didn't like it. Doesn't want to be purified.
We seal with one more blessing. Ariel and Matt, I invite you to repeat after me as we bless Sarah Aiden with the words of Birkat Kochanim. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Now your turn. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha
V'yichunecha.
yichunecha.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
Just overflowing with brachas, we all join together to sing these guys out with Shehechianu. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu l'azman hazeh. I can't wait to return to this place with you all and your family in 9 years for this one, for 13 years with this one, for some mitzvahs. A long way to come, but it will happen sooner than you can believe. Thank you all so much for this.
Thank you, Brandon.
One huge more mazel tov to the family. We'll go from joy to singing. You can find the words of L'chune Ranana on page 12, number 3 online.
Lechu neranena Ladonai Naria Litzui Nikadma fanav bitoda bizmirot naria lechuniranena
We turn to the next page, 13, number 4 online, last paragraph on page 13.
ישמחו השמיים ותגל הארץ בירם הים ומלוא ישמחו השמיים ותגל הארץ ירם הים
Yamala, We turn to page 16, 5 lines down on the page, number 5 online.
Yiramayam umro Tevel v'yoshveva Yiramayam umro Tevel v'yoshveva Let the wave wash over me. Let the wave wash over me. I am already under. Let the wave wash over me. Yiramayam umlo Tevel ve'yoshveva Yiramayam umlo Tevel ve'yoshveva.
We turn to page number 1 on your purple sheets, singing together the words Ana B'Koach. If you come to our space weary or tired today, these are words that grasp after, that call down, that find strength in the collection of our voices.
Ana b'choach gedulat yamincha Tatir terura, tatir terura Kabel rinat amcha zakreinu tareinu nora Ana b'choach gedulat yamincha Tatir terura, tatir terura Kabel rinat amcha zakreinu tareinu nora
Hallelujah.
ימינך תתיר תרורה תתיר תרורה קבל רינת עמך סגבנו תרנו
In a moment, we'll open up the doors of our sanctuary, the doors of all of our Zoom windows, and the doors of our heart to welcome on Shabbos. On page 20, the words of L'chadodi. There's a tradition in this community that, no pressure and total welcome to go outside for the last verse of this song. I've enjoyed this tradition more in these past couple months than over the course of our long winter together. Again, you can find the words on page 20, number 7 online.
נקבלה לך דודי לקראת גאלה בני שבת נקבלה מקדש מלך עיר מלוכה קומי צאי מתוך ההפכה רב לך שבט בעמק הבכה והוא יחמור עלייך חמלה לך דודי לקראת גאלה בני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת גאלה בני שבת נקבלה התנערי מעפר כולי לבשי בגדי תפארתך עמי על יד בן ישי בית הלחמי גור באל נפשי גאלה לך דודי לקראת גאלה בני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת גאלה בני שבת נקבלה התעוררי כי בעורך קומי אורי 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 שיר דברי כבוד עלייך נגלה לך דודי לקראת גאלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת גאלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לא תבושי ולא תקלני, מה תשתוכני ומה תהמני, בך יחסוך אני עמי, ונתנה יראתי לה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. ויהודים שיזו שוזייך ורחקו כל מלאייך, יפציץ עלייך אלוהייך ימסור שפתן הכלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. ימין ושמאל יפרוצי ואת אדוני תריצי. היה לי איש בן פרתי ונזרחה ונגילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום, עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצולה. תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. יא לה לה יא 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 לה לה יא לה 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 יא לה לה יא יא לה לה יא 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 לה לה יא. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. פני שבת נקבלה. או פני שבת נקבלה. Shabbat Shalom.
Good Shabbos. We'll take the next 4 minutes to greet folks around us. Coming back together in 4 minutes. Oh, music's sounding so good.
Okay. Anything I can do to like help be of support to you? Hold you up? Do less of? I think we're in good shape.
Are you doing announcements or is Jay?
I think Jay's doing announcements. I hope Jay's doing announcements.
Okay, let me just check in with him.
Okay.
When we were outside for the Saturday, there was a red-tailed hawk that flew past
Oh.
with something in its talons. Shabbat dinner.
Okay. Hopefully not Shabbat in its talons.
No way.
Shabbat Shalom. Can't wait to ask you, Jay, what is that? It's an Irish bouzouki.
Bazooki?
An Irish bouzouki as opposed to a Greek bouzouki.
With a B or
B.
a bazooki?
Yeah, B as in
Bazooka.
no. Bouzouki. Irish bouzouki.
It's really cool.
It's
great.
Thank you.
I I I I
Oh, if you can hear me sing harmony with this note.
One of my favorite things about this job is getting to interrupt good conversation with good song. We'll join together in our evening service, starting on page 28. We call each other and ourselves into prayer. Please rise in body or spirit. Yum ba dum ba ya da ya da yo. I da da ya ya da ya da yo. I ya da ya yo. Yiddy ya ya da ya yo. I da da ya da ya yo. Baruch hu et Adonai hamevorach. Adonai hamevorach. Hamevorach le'olam va'ed. Hamevorach, hamevorach le'olam va'ed. We turn to the Shema on page 34, number 9 online, staying on your feet if that's your tradition. We've sung so much to each other and we've used our voices. This is the opportunity in our service to sing just loud enough so that we can hear ourselves and truly hear the voices around us. Shema Yisrael. You can be seated. Adonai Elohecha, v'chol levavcha v'chol nafshecha, v'chol me'odecha, v'hayu ha'advarim ha'el. Asher Anochi mitzavecha hayom alevavecha v'shinatam levanecha v'tibarta bam v'shivtecha v'vetecha v'leftecha v'aderech v'shofecha v'kumecha Ukshartan leot hayadecha vehayu latotafot b'neinecha utaftam amizuzot betecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru asitem v'chol mitzvotai Yitem Kadoshim Elohechem Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher Hotzeiti Etchem Be'eretz Mitzrayim Liot Lechem Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem, amen. We call out on page 40 the words Micha Mocha, calling out these words of transition from a place of tightness and stiffness to openness, from a place of constriction to a place of total joy.
Micha Mocha ba'elim Adonai מי כמוך נדר הקודש, נורת תהילות, עושת נורת תהילות, עושת מלכותך ראו גנך, חוקי הים למשה ומרים, זה ליענו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך כי הלא מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, קהל ישראל.
We turn to the next page, 42, 3 lines down in the Hebrew, Ufros Aleinu.
Ufros Aleinu.
Sukkot, Sukkot, Shalom With your indulgence, I would like to bring you a new setting, a brand new setting for Vishamru, and to take a minute to explain it. It comes out of an idea that I have had rolling around in my head for a good couple of years now. The verse, Exodus 31:16, from which this liturgy is derived, is commonly translated as something along the lines of, "The people of Israel shall keep the Sabbath." The plain reading of this in English, to me, seems to convey that the commandment is, you will follow the rules, you will obey, in a way that, for many of us, is neither practical nor actually restful. Although try not driving. It's really great. For those of you who don't have a lot of Hebrew, however, the word that is translated as keep here, vishamru, primarily translates as guard or protect. It's the same root as our shomrim, our beloved members, who make sure that we are safe to be together tonight. So what if what we are being told is not follow the rules, but rather protect Shabbat, keep it safe? And it also kind of begs the question of why Shabbat needs our protection. Our tradition, as we celebrated in L'Chadodi, our most beloved piyut, personifies Shabbat and gives us the images of queen or bride or lover. And I don't know about you, but when I enter Shabbat and I see her standing before me at the gate, what I tend to think about is being taken into her arms, being protected, being comforted. It's about what I need from her. And it never really occurs to me that she needs something from me. Why would Shabbat, which feels like such a deep source of protection, need our protection, our shmirah? In trying to answer this question for myself, I find myself wanting to add yet another image to my own personification of Shabbat, that of a newborn child, immeasurably resilient, immeasurably fragile, in need of our attention, our care, our touch, without which it cannot thrive, it cannot survive. What if we don't just need Shabbat, which clearly we do, but Shabbat, like a tiny baby human, needs us, our comfort, our protection? Shabbat is not just a square on the weekly calendar. If we don't protect it, we lose it, with consequences for all our lives, as then time is owned entirely by the marketplace. We need her, and we ask a lot of her. But Vishamru suggests that this is not a one-way relationship, that Shabbat is not a giving tree, but rather that she will fail to thrive in the absence of our love and attention. So this Vishamru is intended as a song of comfort and protection, a lullaby to sweet Shabbat, a promise that she will be as safe in our arms as we are in hers.
You'll find the words on page 44.
Vishamru,
Shabbat לדורותם. ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש.
MJ, I would like a Kabbalat Shabbat, a setting for each of these melodies in your lullabies. I would love to nap and move through this service in dreams.
I will put you all to sleep anytime.
We move from lullaby to quiet on page 46. We'll sing ourselves together into the next several pages, which we'll do quietly, calling up whatever words you need to feel rested, to feel vayinafash, to feel revitalized today. We rise, embody your spirit on page 46.
Adonai, Svatai tiftach, Ufi agir tehilatecha. 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 עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו אמן. יאללה לה 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 יאללה 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 יאללה
We take a moment in our service to pray for those in our lives and in our community that are in need of healing. I'll do a quick look around the room, and as I pass your face with my eyes, feel free to call out the name or names of anyone in your life that you'd like to pray for healing. And friends on Zoom, please type any names into the chat. After I look around the room, we'll join together in a song of healing, number 2 on your pink or purple sheets. Today we're praying for Elna Rev When the world is sick, can no one be well? Well, I dreamt we were all beautiful and strong. When the world is sick, can no one be well? Well, I dreamt we were all beautiful and strong. Ya-da-da-ya-yo. Ya-da-da-ya-yo. Ya-da-da-ya-ya-da-da-ya-yo. Yum-ba-dum. Yum-ba-dum. I have just such big overflowing joy to welcome up to the Bima today Rabbi Deborah Rappaport to share some words of Torah with us. Would you rather stand or sit?
I would like to stand.
Awesome.
Just take a second to see who's here. Shabbat Shalom. So wonderful to sit and sing and pray with this community again. It has been, I just was looking at the calendar, a year and 8 months since I have been at Friday night services with Shir Tikva. I'm super honored. Bobby and I are both really honored and glad to be back, and thank Rabbi Joey for inviting me to give a little teaching tonight. For those who, where there's advance notice, I know it's a new member night as well, so I look forward to crossing paths with you and, and meeting you in the future too, those who I don't know. And those who do know me, I just want to remind you that my practical rabbinics teacher used to say that every rabbi only has one sermon, and it just keeps coming up in different forms. So you've all heard it before. Okay. So one of the things that we know, well, the Jewish ethics teaches is that we're not supposed to talk about other people, right? It's called Lashon Hara, the wicked tongue. We don't speak about other people. But somehow in the Torah there's this exception to that. And the characters in our Torah stories are fair game for analysis, for trying to understand, and most of all, trying to learn from them. So this week's story, the story of Balak, can I just get a sense here of who is familiar with the story of the King Balak of Moab and the talking donkey Bilam? Okay, so maybe half. Okay. If you're familiar with, I don't know, for me, every year, I cannot believe this story. I read it every year, and I cannot believe it. So I'm going to spend a chunk of my allocated time just going through the story itself. The setting is the wilderness. The Israelites are near the end, the very end of their 40 years since leaving Egypt. And the story centers around two really important guys, neither of whom is Jewish or Israelite at all. It's sort of like Job in that way. It's almost like an aside, and it's almost like a parable. But here it is, right smack in the middle of the book of Numbers. The main characters are the king of Moab, Balak, and this prophet Balaam. Now, Balaam is referred to, well, hold on, I'll stay on my notes. Balak is the one who happened to be king of Moab at this time, and Balaam is considered to be a prophet at the level of Moses, but of a Gentile nation. The rabbinic tradition refers to him as Balaam HaRasha, the wicked one. So, as I tell the story, I'll read parts and I'll summarize other parts, but as I tell the story, I invite you to put yourself in the place of Balaam and see if there's any aspects of what he's doing or going through that you relate to. And we're going to, after we tell the story, we're just going to spend a little time discussing, is the assessment of Balaam as wicked, as Balaam HaRasha, the wicked one, like in the four children, there's the wicked child, the one who, likes to push buttons or maybe counts himself out. Is that justified? Or is he a great, brilliant prophet, as others say? Or maybe he's just an ordinary guy. So we'll talk about that after we go through the story. As the story opens, Moab and its king are doing what Pharaoh and Haman and many others throughout time have done. They look around at the prosperity of Israelites and they get scared and they want to vanquish them. Is this volume good? Are we, okay, I don't want to be too loud okay. Balak, son of Zippor, saw all that Israel had done to the Amorites. Moab was alarmed because that people was so numerous. Moab dreaded the Israelites, and Moab said to the elders of Midian, "Now this horde will lick clean all that is about us as an ox licks up the grass of the field." So Balak sends messengers to Balaam, son of Beor in Petor, to invite him. And he says, "There is a people that come out of Egypt. It hides the earth from view, and it is settled next to me. Come then, put a curse on this people for me, since they are too numerous for me. Perhaps I can thus defeat them and drive them out of the land. For Balaam, I know that whomever you bless is blessed indeed, and whomever you curse is cursed." Is that phrase familiar to anyone? So the language recalls and flips the promise that God made to Abraham when God first called to him. God said to Abraham, "I will bless those who bless you and curse those who curse you and your descendants." So now they're giving that power to Balaam as they're asking him to curse the Israelites. Balaam says, "Nope, I can't curse these people, but let me sleep on it." So overnight he tells God says, "Hey, what's up?" And he tells God verbatim the request, leaving out the little part about his power to curse or bless. God says to Balaam, "Do not go with them. You must not curse that people, for they are blessed." Balaam sends them away, and they report his refusal. The messengers, the dignitaries, report Balaam's reluctance to curse the people to Balak the king. What does Balak do? He sends an even bigger party with even more distinguished dignitaries, more money and offering more money and more favors for Balaam to come and curse the Israelites. Balaam again says, "No, I can't do that, but let me sleep on it." Again, he confers with God overnight, who says, If these men have come to invite you, you may go with them, but whatever I command you, that you shall do. At this point, one might wonder, did God really say, go ahead, or was that Bilam's Yetzer Hara, his negotiating mind that perhaps rationalizes to hear what he wants to hear? When he arose in the morning, Bilam saddled his ass and departed with the Moabite dignitaries. This is the really juicy part. God was furious at his going. And God sent a malach Adonai, a messenger or an angel, to take a position as an adversary, hasatan, as an adversary in his way. He was riding on his she-ass, so this is Bilam, riding on his donkey with 2 servants alongside, when the ass caught sight of the messenger of God standing in the way with his sword drawn in his hand. I don't know how you stand with a sword, but his sword was drawn in his hand. And the donkey sees it and swerves out into the field. And Bilam beats the donkey and gets him back on the path. Now, the messenger of God, the malach, the angel or messenger, then stationed himself in a lane between the vineyards with a fence on either side. The ass, seeing the messenger of God, pressed herself up against the wall and squeezed Bilam's foot against the wall, and he beat her again. Once more, this malach, this messenger of God, moved forward and stationed himself on a spot so narrow that there was no room to swerve left or right. What does the donkey do? She lay down, and Bilam was furious and beat her again. Then Havayah, God, opens the ass's mouth, and she says to Bilam, "Hey, what have I done to you that you have beat me these 3 times?" Bilam said to his donkey, "You have made a mockery of me. If I had a sword with me, I would kill you." The donkey said to Bilam, "Look, I am the ass that you have been riding all along until this day. Have I been in the habit of doing wrong to you?" Bilam says, "No." Then God uncovered his eyes, removed his blindness, and he saw this messenger of God standing in the way with his sword drawn in his hand, and he bowed right down to the ground. The messenger of God said to him, "Why have you beaten your donkey these 3 times? It is I who came out as an adversary, for the errand is obnoxious to me. And when the ass saw me, she shied away because of me those 3 times. If she had not shied away from me, you are the one I would have killed while sparing her." Bilam said to the messenger of God, "I erred because I did not know that you are standing in my way. If you still disapprove, I'll turn back." But the messenger of God said to Bilam, Go with the men, but you must say nothing except what I tell you." So Bilam went on with Balak's dignitaries. Now, I have to say, this reminds me of a little child who wants a cookie and gets told, "No, it'll spoil your dinner." And the kid says, "Okay, but can I have the cookie?" And then the parent says, "No, you'll be sick from too many sweets." And the kid says, "Okay, well, can I just hold the cookie?" And it's kind of, he keeps pushing it. He keeps being told no, and he keeps pushing it. So he keeps going, trying to please both Balak's dignitaries and the will of God, which are opposite. One says, "Do not curse these people," and the other one says, "Curse these people." He's walking a pretty precarious line here. They're both very powerful. Subsequently, there are 3 episodes, 3 different places, 3 different mountaintops, where the Moabites and the Midianites build 7 altars and sacrifice a bull and a ram on each one in preparation for Bilam's prophetic cursing of the Israelites. Each time Bilam says, has a disclaimer. He says, I can only say what God puts in my mouth. 3 times, Bilam fails to curse the Israelites, and by the final time, he is blessing the people and predicting their military success. His words, in fact, are how we begin our morning services. Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael. How great, how beautiful, how good are your tents, Jacob, your dwelling places, Israel. So it's this idea of this prophet looking over all the encampments of Israel and blessing them. So, what do you think? Is he wicked? Is he brilliant? Is he good? Is he ordinary? So I'm going to sort of go in 3 groups of responses. Who would like to speak out for wicked? Anyone? Yes. Oh, great question. Linda asked if God's messenger came back and told him what to say. No, but he did confer with God each time, and God told him what to say, like directly with God. So maybe that's a point in favor of of his greatness. So Rabbi Joey, I think, is going to run the microphone around to folks who want to speak out on behalf of Bilam as a wicked one.
I'm wondering if part of the wickedness has nothing to do with the prophecy and has something to do with that he beat his donkey. Because the Talmud has some hang-ups about like actually treating your donkeys properly, and I'm wondering if that's part of the wickedness.
Thank you.
I would just wanted to say, I think nobody is wicked. I think people are in pain and express that in ways that are not good, but I don't think anyone is fundamentally wicked.
Thank you. So, as I mentioned, the Talmud calls him Bilam Harasha. And in Pirkei Avot, it says, Abraham, as well as his descendants, had 3 traits that represented him: a good eye, an eye that gives the benefit of the doubt, and a generous spirit and a humble soul. And conversely, they pair him against Bilam, who is said to have an evil eye, a haughty spirit, and a demanding soul. Does that resonate at all? Perhaps an evil eye because he intended to curse, right? He didn't actually say no. The rabbis think he intended to curse. The story itself in the Torah doesn't necessarily portray him that way. How about a haughty spirit? He thought he could pull off, perhaps, maybe this is why they gave him a haughty spirit. He thought he could pull off serving 2 very powerful and opposing forces. That's chutzpah. One of the rabbinic teachings, and I wouldn't expect anyone to come up with this because, who would even think of this, but was that part of why they said he had a demanding demeanor, like wanted too much, was that he went to 3 different hills and set up altars and made sacrifices from 3 different places, showing that he couldn't commit to any one place, any one tribe, any one thing, any one perspective. And it seems silly to me the king, this is just an aside, but of King Balak to be like, okay, that didn't work, but let's try again. Over here, and they all went for it. Any other reasons?
I'm just noting
Were you gonna say something?
one note in the chat.
Okay.
Just noting one note in the chat. Trying to please both sides is both demanding and haughty. And a few other people agreeing this problem of playing both sides. We also have some strong voices in the chat from Sarah and Lincoln saying that the beating of a donkey is irredeemable and might push our view into seeing him as a Rasha, as wicked.
Thank you, Lakin. That's yeah, and that gets at like public persona versus what you do behind the scenes. And can somebody who speaks good publicly and does bad privately be considered good? Well, that's Rasha. Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. Yes. Okay.
I was remembering, there was like a shorter thing I read by Levinas where he says, he really like underscores that the speaking donkey is a bizarre episode of the story, and he had a bailiwick or like an intellectual project, kind of like against the imagination, continuing the Maimonidean thing of prophecy as intellectual perfection. So it's bizarre that it would take having the donkey speaking to him. It is very out of place in the narrative of the Torah, something like that. But it's weird that it should say that he's a prophet on the level of Moshe when the angel of God is right there and he's not seeing it at all. I would say he's definitely confused. There's a lack of intellectual honesty, right? And commitment, and
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to calling him wicked. I know that people can say that that's too absolute of a term, but I don't have an argument against calling him wicked either.
Was he really that blind, or was he disingenuous? Can I get your name? I've davened with you a few times, but I don't know your name.
I'm Echo.
Michael, hi.
No, Echo.
Echo, sorry. Hi, Echo.
I want to speak briefly from the perspective of an equestrian. If you know horses and you're riding a horse through a field and it shies away unexpectedly, you have to assume that it sees something that you don't, like a snake. And the fact that his donkey did that 3 times, and he just assumed that it was disobedient instead of, hey, maybe this donkey sees something that I don't, it shows a lot of hubris.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Yeah, body spirit. Yeah. Jake.
I'm thinking of the episode when Moshe is out caring for his animals, and he sees a bush that is burning but not being consumed. He sees something that is obviously supernatural, and he gets very curious about it. He says, I have to turn aside and take a look at this, and he wants to understand it. Versus Bilam is encountering something obviously supernatural, like a talking donkey, and all he does is get frustrated with it. He's got a real lack of curiosity.
Powerful. One more, yes.
I do think there's also a really good contrast with the fact that there are other times when people kind of directly say, hey, God, I completely disagree and I want you to change your mind on something. But most of the time, especially when we've seen it work, it's because it's for the benefit of others. Whereas in this context, it's pretty clearly just because he wants, like, if he is being genuine in being like, I want to be allowed to go curse the Israelites, then it's pretty clear it's because he wants to be allowed to reap the rewards of that in an earthly way. And so kind of
basic greed, yeah.
Versus doing it for other people because maybe God is not seeing a particular perspective or something.
Thank you. So, does anybody want to argue that he is at the level of Moshe? Julie.
I'd like to say that both can be true. You know,
Yeah.
we both have aspects of either side in all of us, and I think that Balaam probably does also. I mean, I don't forgive beating a donkey, and he eventually blessed the Israelites.
So I just want to say a word about, maybe it's certainly not at the level of Moses, but there is something potentially chutzpahdik and admirable in the way he entered a system that he knew was wrong and turned the situation around with God's help. If we think about being change makers, sometimes it needs to be from within dysfunctional systems. And you think about whistleblowers, and just invite people to think about, when is there a benefit of staying inside a system that causes harm and working from within to make change, even if we know we might fail or we might get seduced into that way of doing things. It's risky. But as the story turns out, he actually did have the opportunity to change the course of history, and to the point where his words of appreciation open our morning service. So a number of you are like, no, we're not going to put him in this box of wicked or good. We're not going to glorify him. We're gonna just say he's ordinary, which is, of course, where we're going with this, right? He's this silly prophet. He's a silly prophet. He beats his, he goes and God has to tell him what to do every step of the way, and he's willfully blind, to what the donkey says. And who among us hasn't felt torn by a difficult decision, which in your mind or pocketbook says one thing and your heart says another, or being pulled to say yes to something, to participate in something that just at its core isn't right? Maybe it's a perfect on paper date or the perfect on paper job or any number, invitations to serve in something that's maybe glamorous and important, but it's just not the right fit, or it's just not right. These are more innocuous examples. It gets at which sources of authority do we listen to, and invites us to how we make healthy decisions, and invites us to some compassion and curiosity. About what's really happening. Also, this is what I grew up in the ordinary, is the connection between the donkey, which in Hebrew the word is chamor, and chamor also means matter, substance. And it's, it also could totally be read, and I've talked about this, focused more on this on other years, but as a parable of the wisdom of the body, to tell us what's the right, to tell us the truth, and how we can be abusive to our own bodies when they say stop. Is it a stomach ache? Is it an illness? Is it a headache? Is it an accident? Just our bodies know when we're going down a path that's going to be detrimental, and we can choose to keep powering through, and keep the willful blindness of not seeing what's happening, or we can soften a little bit and try to be a little bit more gentle. Does anybody want to add anything? Rachel.
One thing that I was wondering about was the power of the minion. That some of these encounters happened singularly, like he was alone with the donkey, and approach. And like, what is the power? I don't know when minions started. So the whole idea, I mean, I always learned that you have a minion so that in case there's something supernatural or a miracle, it can be verified by the group and open to discussion and perspective as opposed to this isolated thing.
Yeah, I mean, it isn't actually the first morning prayer, Matovu. It's when we come together for the communal part of the prayer. And it is the expression of looking out at the minyan and saying how beautiful this is. Other than that, I pass. In closing, I just want to say how much I love this story and really how much I love the opportunity to learn and think with you all. You invariably take my thinking about any topic deeper, and I get nourished by it. I think the wisdom of this silly story is showing us how we all can be seduced by what's not right for us or the community or the wider world. Whether we see Bilam as wicked, good, or ordinary, he shows us the ultimate choice of tshuva, of repentance or return, that we have the opportunity to repent, to turn, to change course of our lives in every moment. No matter how far we've gone down a particular path, the words we choose to speak, along with where we show up, can change the direction of our lives and have ripple effects far and wide. Finally, the rabbinic choice to open our morning services with these words of Bilam affirm the everyday opportunity to make blessings out of curses. Shabbat Shalom.
We'll take a moment in our service. Well, first, just Rabbi Rappaport, thank you so much. Yesha Koach. Ooh, let's just let that sink in. And let's sing it into ourselves. You'll find the words of our communal blessing on the pink sheet number 3. Zoom friends, please get ready with some blessings to just add into the space today. Number 3 on the pink sheets. Hamalach hagoel oti, Hamalach hagoel oti mikora, Yivarech et hanaharim, vayikra vehem shemi. V'shem avotai, Avraham v'Yitzchak, v'yigdu larov, b'kerev haaretz. Yismechem Elohim gazara kerivka kerachel uchelea ke'Ephraim v'chi Menashe. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Yair Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. Yedidaya yadaya yo yo. Yedidaya yadaya yo da da yo. Ya 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 da yo. Ya da 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 ya ya yo. Yedidaya yadaya yo yo yo. Yedidaya yadaya yo yada yo. Ya 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 da ya da yo. Yiddy da 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 no. May we never be too ashamed, stubborn, or afraid to turn around. May we dig deep and make sure our actions align with our values. May we have the courage to be fierce in our actions as we support a shift towards living more lightly on our planet. May everyone know the love and support I have had in the past week as I've been recovering from my top surgery. And may everyone be as aggressively loved as my may everyone aggressively love as my roommate and I are by our dog. May every animal be as well loved as my dog. May we listen to our donkeys. May we be blessed with family and friends who we love and who love us unconditionally. May we listen to our animal pals and be curious about the oddities. May we listen to the needs of cats, dogs, and fellow humans. There seems to be a theme. May we greet those who return after blinders are removed and the truth revealed. May we allow ourselves to change our minds. May we be able to listen to the plants, the animals, the rivers, the earth, as it tells us we will suffer if we do not take care of them. May we always safeguard the little baby, Shabbat, in ourselves, so that she and we can show up for others together. Ken yehi ratzon, yedadai yadai yo. We continue on page 284 with the words V'hashavota, beginning to put a seal on our service, page 284. Rising in body or spirits. V'hashavota,
V'hashavota,
El levavecha, Ki Adonai, Hu Elohim, V'hashavota, El levavecha, Ki Shechinah, Hi Elohim, V'ne'emar, V'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz, Bayom hahu, Yihyeh Adonai echad, U'shemo, Folks can be seated. We'll take the next few minutes in our service to remember those in our lives and in our community that have died either on this day or as an anniversary, or folks who have died recently in our community. I'm going to read through a list of names, and I invite anyone who has a loved one that they're remembering today, after you hear their name, please flail wildly, and MJ will find you. If you don't hear the name, MJ will find you with a microphone, and we invite you just to share a sentence or two of story about your loved one. We'd love to hear about them. Briefly, after I'm done reading through this list, anyone who didn't hear the name of their loved one, feel free to raise their hand and we'll find you as well. Today we're in the Shloshim, the first 30 days after the death of Kathy Chris Tofel, beloved member of Shir Tikva, and Jane Resch Thomas, beloved member and beloved friend and mentor of Lincoln. We're in the yahrzeit of Maxwell Canson, Lucy's father.
He was a very witty and colorful person. He could drive you crazy. And he was beloved.
We're remembering Larry Applese's, Rick Applese's father, Aviva Benanov, Jay Benanov's mother.
My mother was a Holocaust survivor who came to Palestine in this country and started a new life and a new family.
We're remembering Ethel Ersling, Jay Ersling's mother, Philip Foreman, Paula Foreman's father, and Garfinkel Forpaul, Hirsch Berman's cousin, David, and Mindy's cousin, David Gilchrist, Tony Gilchrist's father-in-law, Mabel Jillian Nordstrom, Dennis's grandmother. So sorry for butchering your last name as usual, Dennis.
Yeah, it was pronounced Gilliam then. Best chocolate cake in the world. She had a lot of rough edges, and it occurred to me that from her I learned how to make the ch sound, which came in as a child, which came in so very useful later when I converted. Although she was German, she said she was a German shepherd, which she was from Howard Lake, Minnesota. So I've come full circle. But we would arrive driving across the country every summer to go and visit, or back to Iowa to visit, and she would have Kuchen waiting for us. It was a German coffee cake, and I would say, "You Kuchen?" And she'd, "No, Kuchen. You got to say it right." So thank you for teaching me the beginnings of Hebrew.
We're remembering Walter Hiller, Carolyn Hiller's father, Nikhil Hurtubise, Lisa Hurtubise's sister, and Julie Jacobs' sister-in-law.
Nikki had a wicked sense of adventure, and when we'd show up with the kids, she would whisk them off on some thing that she'd thought of, like taking them up to this magical lake or wherever.
Marvin Cass, Debbie Ornstein's father. Selma Liebel, Rona Liebel's mother. Mark Liljadal, Ari Liljadal's uncle. Farron Rebecca Loeb, Liz Loeb's sister. Adam Morris, Fred and Wendy Morris's son and brother of Max and Jack Morris. Janet Pacala, James Pacala's mother. Sarah Pizer, Ben Pizer's mother. Robert Schleisinger, Susanna Altman's father. Edward J. Schwartz, Mickey Danofsky's uncle. Virginia Shedlov, Dan Friedman Shedlov's grandmother. Reuben Siegel, Cheryl Shachshoff's father. Goldie Stoller, Karen's mother. Sandy Thompson, Red Tominot's mother. Lorraine Tilson, Ariel Tilson's mother. Robert Bob Timothy Wilson, Leah Robertson's father. Erwin Zimmerman, Fran Zimmerman's father. Is there anyone else that we're remembering tonight?
I'm remembering my mother, Laura McDaniel, Leah Baruchva Miriam, and she always encountered God in nature, and I'm thinking about her as the pollinator garden that she requested that I plant comes into full bloom. So, yeah.
I'm technically the Sholoshim for my grandmother ended last week, but I haven't been in here in person, so I figure I'll still say something now. That she was 92 years old, a very complicated woman. I never doubted that she loved me. Didn't even blink when I came out to her. And I feel really lucky that I got to see her as recently as April. And my last memory of her alive is looking at my partner with love in her eyes like she's one of her own grandchildren. So I'm really grateful for that.
My grandfather, Max Rappaport, died 4th of July weekend, so we always remember him the closest weekend to that. He died, I was just 1 year old, but he had, actually he was the age I am now, and had a larger than life impact on our family.
We'll say the words of Mourner's Kaddish. You can find them on page 294, number 20 online, as we rise in body or spirit. Yitgadal v'yikadash Shemei Rabbah be'alma divra chirutei ve'amlich malchutei Bechayechon u'yamechon u'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael Bagala u'bizman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehe Shmei Rabba mevarach le'olam olmei olmaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yitchalal Shemei dekutsha brechu. Ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiram be'alma v'imru Amen. Yehe shlama rabba min shamaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, Amen. Folks can be seated. I'll call up, although Jay, you shouldn't sit down, I'll call up Jay to give us our announcements.
Thank you. Shabbat Shalom. I'm Jay Benanov, founding member of Shir Tikva since 1988. Some of you weren't even born in 1988. Current board member. So just a few announcements. Give me a second to put on my glasses or you won't get the announcements. First of all, thank you for being here tonight. We really do appreciate it. It's such a joy to be together. At the end of the service, please return your prayer books to the usher table over there, and please separate your song sheets from your Sidurim. We want to wish Mazel Tov to Ariel Eason and Matthew Belsky, and of course, big sister Soshi. And we welcome baby Ayla to our Jewish community. Welcome. We expect to see her for many, many, many more years. Thank you to all who made tonight possible. Rabbi Deborah Rappaport, thank you. Thank you. Rabbi Joey, where'd you go? Oh, there you are. Thank you. Thank you. MJ Gilbert, thank you. Gordon, David Bailey, Julie Jacobs, thank you. Lori Sweet, and Kelly Casey. And we ask you to join us tonight after the service for Oneg, where we celebrate our new members. Now here come the announcements. So we're here at the tail end. So hold on now. So first, find all the Shir Tikva programming updates in our weekly newsletter and our website. Our website is www.shirtikvamn.org. If you want to register for JAMI, that's our youth education, it's now open. Please go online and check it out. JAMI, by the way, is J-A-M-I. There is something for every child, every range from pre-K to 12th grade. If all of a sudden you find yourself having children, young children, adolescents, etc. You know, who knows? You might wake up and find. Please take a look at that and find out what's available. And if you're interested, please be in touch with Forrest. Registration is open through July. And Shir Tikva is hiring. We're looking for B'nai Mitzvah tutors and class teachers. If you want to really be impressed and inspired, you should do this, because the young people do give you some hope, and sometimes bleak times, our children are just great. So please, if you have any interest, please call Forrest. One of our teachers said this is the best place they've ever worked, so please consider that. If you're interested, again, call Forrest. Next week, next Friday, our Shabbat is outside, but we'll also be on Zoom. So certainly if you can make it, please come. If you can't, you can watch it always on Zoom. And a reminder, this is your community, and we're here to support you. So if you ever need any support, if you have a life change, please let us know so we can activate the Shir Tikva network, support network. And to help with that care, we can always use more volunteers to provide rides to services. If that's something you're interested in, please talk to Rabbi Joey. For the families who do have newborns, babies, or tots, the next Tot Shabbat is Saturday, August 5th at 9:30 a.m. After that, the Tot Shabbat does its annual fall transformation as we celebrate the high holy days and rituals of the fall season with our youngest in a very unique way. So please check that out. And stay tuned for high holiday information, which will be coming soon. I know it seems a little early, but this is, before you know it, it's going to be here. So please take a look at that. And after the high holidays, the Tot Shabbat is moving. It will continue monthly though in November it'll be the third Shabbat of the month. And please, if you're interested, we can get you a Google Calendar with all that information. And if you're new to Shir Tikva, or you have a young person in your life, or you're a grandparent, how many of you are grandparents? Raise your hand. If you're interested, please let us know. Thank you for being here tonight. We appreciate it. Please join us for the Oneg after the service. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you so much, Jay. We'll finish by blessing out our service. We'll bless wine and challah. You can find the blessing for wine on page 5. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, barei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitanu b'mitzvato v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron l'ma'aseh v'reshit. Ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh, zecher l'tziat mitzrayim. Ki vanu v'charta, ve'otanu kidashta, im kol ha'amim, ve'shabbat kodshecha, ve'ahava uvratzon, Hinchaltanu, Brucha at Shechina, Mekadeshet HaShabbat. To help us bless the challah, I'd love to invite Rana and Ramon. In a blessing, in a service bursting with blessings, I just want to bless the two of you all nearing or already having passed your 40th anniversary. 40th anniversary on Monday. May, as we bless the challah, may this just be a time of like utter and complete sustenance, of deeply enjoying each other and deeply enjoying life. Okay, let's bless. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz, And we'll end with song.
I hit it, I hit it, I ho. I hit it, I hit it, I ho. I hit it, I hit it, I ho. I da da I I did it, I hit it, I ho. I hit it, I hit it, I da ho. I hit it, I hit it, I ho. I da da Shabbat Shalom. Gam lecha.
Have you started working at the bookstore yet?
Monday is my first training shift.
Are you feeling excited?
I'm feeling a combination. I mean, I've got a little bit of concern both about, is this going to take up time that I actually need for other things? Is it going to be?
I'm obsessed with your dress. It
Yeah.
is-
Yeah. No, you've made the room tonight. I'm a little concerned about how physically actually strenuous it's going to be between all the standing and the carrying and lifting of big piles of books.
Have you worked a retail job in like 40 years?
No.
Where-
I mean, the last time, no, I have not. And I've really almost only ever done very high stakes work. But I've worked with books before. You know, I worked at Sitonut Stamatsky in Jerusalem in 1982. That's pretty much it. So I'll tell you how it goes.